Noisy Pixel.
As a PSP owner, God Eater was a game that took many hours of my life. I enjoyed how the developers formed a new story around the monster slaying genre, which made me care more about the world and its characters. Now, Bandai Namco is back with the first entry of the series developed for modern consoles, and it's like deja vu as the hours of my life get poured right back into this world. This is Noisy Pixel's review for God Eater 3.
What's with this weirdo?
God Eater 3 takes place a few years after the conclusion of God Eater 2. Since then, Ash has taken over the world and pushed humanity out of Fenrir. However, the government has begun imprisoning children and making them take the God Arc test to turn them into Ages. Basically, Ages are humans who can survive in Ash for longer than a few minutes. Players will create a character using a not-so-deep character creation system and start their journey locked behind bars fighting for a government who thinks they're above you. The story does well in setting up this world and the situation that the Ages are in. Ages are more referred to as dogs and property, even though they are the ones that are stopping the Aragami from destroying everything. After finding an escape, players go on an epic journey as they learn more about the large Ash Aragami and a strange humanoid girl named Feme. The story features moments of political injustice, headed by a cast of characters who fuel the adventure from beginning to end. After a while, I found myself completing the story missions, if only to see what would happen next. Along with a solid story, there's a load of improvements found in God Eater 3's battle system. It's evident from early on that the developers really took fan feedback to heart when crafting new features. Burst Arts will be the main feature in battle. Entering burst mode requires players to devour an Aragami. After, players will be able to access different skills depending on whether they're on the ground or in the air. Everything in the player's loadout is customizable, from burst arts to AI link skills. God Eater 3 has a lot to offer players who wish to dive in deep into the menus and make the game fit their playstyle. Furthermore, during missions, players will acquire materials that can be used to upgrade or craft new items and weapons. This adds a lot to the replayability of the game, given that there is always need for a stronger weapon and higher defense. There are so many weapon choices and loadout combinations, it was hard for me to get bored or feel that the game was getting repetitive. With that said, although the dungeon designs are far better than the previous entries, I felt that I visited the same battlefields over and over again, even though I moved to a different area on the map. The new Ash Aragami can be brutal as they have a range of different skills and they can also access a burst mode of their own. What helps is how competent the AI companions are, but expect a decent amount of challenge during some of the missions. Sadly, the Aragami are rolled out slowly as you move up the ranks, which means you'll be facing off against the same Aragami multiple times in the early parts of the game, with only a few elemental differences. There's a ton of content to dive into with God Eater 3 and I absolutely couldn't get enough. The improvements to the characters' movements and attacks, along with using new features like the acceleration trigger, made each mission awesome to play through. However, the story carries the game in the later hours and had me saying one more mission over and over again just to see what happens to the characters. Lackluster dungeons and repetitive Aragami aside, God Eater 3 is the entry in the series that I've been waiting for. Noisy Pixel is giving God Eater 3 an 8.8 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to read the full review at noisypixel.net. Noisy Pixel is ran by a group of gamers who work hard to deliver news, reviews, previews, and more. Please subscribe to keep up with all our future content.
Why don't we think of a name for her then? So cute.